Hello, good morning. It's just gone 7 AM on Thursday the 22nd of February. I'm just starting off on the 200km DIY audax. Going to be busy over the weekend, so I've taken today to do my ride this week. Today's route is called Tor, Mump, Tower and 2 aqueducts. So I'm starting off by climbing up a Wellsway, then going down through Tunley, Cam Valley, over the Mendips, drop down into Wales. Next update there probably. So I've just plunged down off the Mendips into Wales. Right behind me is Wales Cathedral. So a little bit about today's route. I've already decided to rename it, so let me try and explain. Originally this route was one of my very early DIY constructions, and in those days, I won't go into detail, but they were always over distance. They had to be, but they were almost forced to be over distance, just through the procedure of how you had to submit the controls. The new mandatory system allows you to actually submit the route you intend to ride. So I was able to chop off a little bit at the end of the old route. The route itself, if you can sort of visualise, almost like an Olympic torch down on its side, but like slanted up at a 30-degree angle. So here's a map of the route. So originally, when I first rode this several years back, it was called Tor, Mump, Tower and Horse, because I passed Glastonbury Tor, Borough Mump, go down to Taunton, and on the way back I climb up past Alfred's Tower, and then I would skirt around Melksham and I would see views of the Westbury White Horse. So I've cut that Melksham section off, and what happens, so that's allowed me to curve in through Bradford-on-Avon, and then I'm going to come back along the Kennet-on-Avon Canal over 2 aqueducts, Avon-Cliff Aqueduct and Dundas Aqueduct. I said at the introduction the route's called Tor, Mump, Tower and 2 aqueducts. The 2 aqueducts, it's a bit too left brain for me, I just didn't like the sound of that, the more I thought about it. So I tried to think of something on the route, like a pair of aqueducts, even a brace of aqueducts. Then I suddenly thought of aqueduct I. I'm sure the plural for aqueducts is just simply aqueduct with an S on the end, but I've put an I on the end, so who knows, I might just patent that. So last weekend I started riding my Thorn audax bike. It's the one I'd ride for summer. Then last night it drizzled a bit, and then the temperatures dropped and there was a layer of frost this morning. Just made sense to get back on my 26-inch wheel caribou bike with straight handlebars. It does feel much safer. Here we are then, the busy A39, and to avoid riding on that, risking life and limb, there's a little cycle path right alongside it. So here's the first destination from the ride title, Glastonbury Tor. I am very aware when I edit my videos I do tend to overuse the word favourite, you know, my favourite place, my favourite view, favourite memory. So I'm consciously trying to stop using the F word as much. So this afternoon, before I do that, as Roger Daltrey would say, I'm going to visit one of my favourite places in the universe. So keep watching, all will be revealed. So it's about 10 to 4 now. I've just left Castle Kerry and I'm just about to enter one of my favourite places in the universe. So I'm going to be heading down there to the village of Cole. It's just absolute paradise as far as I'm concerned. It's a beautiful village set down in this gorgeous valley. There's two rivers that come through here. This is the Pit and it's going through the gardens of Cole Manor. I'm going to stop there shortly just to do some photographs and a bit of filming, and then as we leave we'll be crossing the River Brue. It's just stunning here. Look at those snowdrops and daffodils. He's even got his own Victorian postbox set in the wall here. So I'm right outside Cole Manor tea rooms. There's some gorgeous gardens. They absolutely encourage you to walk around the gardens if you want to. On a sunny summer afternoon. It's an absolutely fantastic place to sit there just out on the lawn, have some food. Unfortunately I'm rapidly running out of daylight actually, so I want to try and get up past Alfred's Tower before it really gets dark, so reluctantly I'm not going to stop here. That's the turning I'm going to take, so I'm now just going to climb out of Cole and I'll cross over the River Brue here. And what a shame I can't use the F word, because this really is oh, it's such a fab place. I'm just going to go down there and take a picture of the bridge. This is a little bit of paradise. I keep telling myself one night I'm going to ride out here and bivvy down here. Just a brief visit through Cole today because of the fading light, but it's always a special place for me to visit. So just climbing out of Cole, crossing this old railway bridge, and right underneath it someone's purchased the land and they've built this wildlife pond. So I've just climbed out of Bruton. I'm just turning off the Wincanton road now and I'm heading towards Alfred's Tower. So I'm heading towards Alfred's Tower at the top of that hill. It looks very imposing up there. So I got to the top of Alfred's Tower Hill just as the sun was setting. It's pretty amazing actually. I mean, it's orange brick anyway, but to be bathed in that gorgeous orange glow of sunset would just made it really special. I'm actually cooling down a bit now because my sweat is starting to cool. I'm slightly going downhill. My priority now is to get to Bradford-on-Avon fairly sharpish without too much stopping, because the next section is going to be a lot of downhill. I'm likely to get cold and the temperature is starting to drop already, and the forecast for later on tonight is -2, -3. I was actually passed by a gritting lorry dispensing grit at 2:30, bright sunshine this afternoon near Somerton, so there's clearly some cold weather on the way. So I'm dropping down from the Stourhead estate through the Longleat estate. I'm just passing Shearwater Lake now. It's getting quite dark. So earlier on I'd made the decision to ride 26-inch wheels and dress up quite warm because it was quite cold first thing. Mid-morning, approaching lunchtime, I thought I'd made the wrong decision because I started to get quite warm, and then there's quite not as strong, but there's a bit of a nip in the air riding back. It's a northeasterly I was riding into. Now the sun's gone down, the temperature's dropping really rapidly, so I'm quite keen to get this downhill section over as quickly as possible now. It's about 7 PM now and I've just passed through Warminster. I've stopped at Upton Scudamore. My Garmin gave me a battery low alarm about 2 hours ago. I just thought it was time to give it a charge. Also just rung Linda to let her know I'm running a bit late. So it's now 8 PM and I've just turned onto the Kennet and Avon Canal at Bradford-on-Avon. So I'm now on the first of two aqueducts, Avon Cliff Aqueduct. If I look over there, you'll see the very popular Cross Guns Inn. Right in front of me is the aqueduct itself. Just on my left here is the canal. So it's now 8:30 and I'm on Dundas Aqueduct. I really got to watch the time. I'm going to run out of time on this audax if I'm not careful. I think it's a bit fiddly getting off this canal actually, but I'm about 5.5 miles from home. I don't know if you can see the lights there of the main road. That's the A36 heading into Bath. So I need to get off the canal shortly, turn left, double away from Bath through Monkton Combe, get on the two tunnels at Tucking Mill and then turn right on the other side of that hill and then go through the two tunnels. In effect, I'm going through that hill actually to get to the other side of Bath.